Welcome to Gen Z Finance. I am a younger millennial, older Gen Z, documenting my personal finance journey here on YouTube. And the main way I do that is through showing you my budget. And on screen right now, you can see ynab. That stands for You Need a Budget. It is the budgeting software system that I've been using since February of 2019. So it's been a little bit since I posted my last budget with me, but not as bad as it was in the past. I think I was on a hiatus for like 9 months, and then I did a budget with me. I want to say it was sometime in May or April, so hopefully it wasn't that far back. But I'm going to go ahead and budget my second paycheck of June, and I thought at the end of this I'd also go ahead and show you my net worth, and we can go over my net worth growth so far for the year. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I've already gone ahead and reconciled all of my accounts, so we're going to go ahead and close that off just so we can focus on the budget. So like I said, here is ynab. Something that has changed since the last time I showed you my budget is I went ahead and added another custom view up here at the top. So these are what ynab calls views, and you can create custom views that you can use to easily kind of filter all of your categories, because if I select here, I have 60 categories in my budget, and sometimes that's a lot to work through. So you can see I have a custom view for here's all of the money, all of the categories that I would consider savings. So I created this custom view, and what it allows me to do is quickly go ahead and see total available is, $68,000. And I know that $68,000 is how much I could put in my savings account. Like, this is not money that I'm really planning to touch all that soon. So that's what I like the custom views for. Of course, ynab gives you some standard views, like you can see any underfunded accounts, but you can see that this one here is called Paycheck 1. So what I tend to do is I have a pretty good system in place because I've been budgeting for so long that I know what expenses I need to cover with my first paycheck and then what I can cover with my second paycheck of any month, because I am paid bi-weekly. And then when we get those 3 paycheck months, that's kind of a free-for-all. But yeah, so I'm going to just have a Paycheck 1, and then I thought what I could do is go ahead and create Paycheck number 2 custom view with you all here. So we'll go back to all, and then I will click on view menu and we'll do new view. And it just gives you a little breakdown on what this is. I don't need to see it again. So I'm going to call it Paycheck 2. And then I select the categories that I think I'm going to need for them. So I know I can't cover all of my Roth IRA amount with the first paycheck of the month. So I need to select that for paycheck number 2 so I can top that off. We will also be doing my car ownership, electronics. I'm going to go up here to select clothing. Then I cover a lot of like my savings items and sinking funds with my second paycheck. So that's going to be travel and trips, next year deductible, house fund. I'll have my holding fund there just in case, and then brokerage as well. Now, obviously I can put money in to these other categories if I want, but these are just the expenses that I know I need to cover with my second paycheck. So we selected it. I'm going to press save, and then you can see now I have the second paycheck custom view here. So we're just going to manage views and reorganize these. I'm going to want Paycheck 2 right beside Paycheck 1, obviously, and we're going to press done there, and then we can go ahead and budget this $1735.64, which again is that last paycheck in June. Let's get out of this view for a second. But you can see like everything in June is pretty much budgeted for anyway. And I pretty much budget 1 month ahead. So if we look into July, you can see that. And again, these are all of the expenses that I like to have paid for or budgeted for with my first paycheck of the month. They're all budgeted for and assigned. So with the second paycheck, some of this money is going to go into July and some of it is going to go into June. So just be aware that I might be flipping between months. Okay, so let's go ahead and work through this. I'm going to put $70 into clothing for July, and then I will be doing 25 into car ownership and 25 into electronics for July, because if I flip back to June, you can see that these things were already budgeted for in June. So this money is money for next month. And then the rest of this should be going into the month that I earned the actual money in. So we'll flip from July back to June and put some money in here. So you can see I moved quite a lot of money out of my travel and trips fund already in June. I'm just going to put that $150 here. And then since I don't like those $3, I'm just going to put an extra $3 there. So now that's at an even $3,500. And then I'll do the $125 to my next year medical deductible fund. And then I already put some money into the move out fund this month, but I want to try to aim to always put at least $500 a month in there. Okay, so I still have $837 left from this paycheck, and I think we will go ahead and put at least $500 into my brokerage account. So there was already some money in here. Again, since May was a 3 paycheck month, I put some of that third paycheck into the brokerage account for June. So we've got quite a bit in here, but obviously this money will actually be coming out in July because I didn't spend any of it in June. So, but we have that budgeted, and that still leaves us $337.64. So let's go ahead and get out of this paycheck 1 and 2 view. A couple other things I need to do. So in June, I no longer need this $53.99. So let's put this into holding. And the $72.89 as well. I didn't spend all of my fund money for once in my life this month. And that put us $126.88 in holding. So I think I want to put this $126 into my giving category. I've been doing some extra donations and family giving. So I think it would be best to just use that money for this. Okay, so let's just split this. That would be roughly $75 in each. So we'll move $75 to donations. Oh, I'm really bad at math apparently. It wouldn't be exactly $75 each. But you know what? I think that's still fine. So we'll redo that. We'll put $75 to donations. And family giving will give the extra $51.88. And that still leaves us with $337.64 from this second June paycheck. So I have some free reign here to figure out what I want to do with it. Let's look down here at my wish farm. I do want to get some new AirPod Pros because mine are starting to go, and I only need about another $80 to fully fund that. So we'll go ahead and take care of that now. $80.17. $257 is left. And you know what? I think we need to put that into travel and trips because I have a big trip coming up. So I think we should just put that here to kind of replenish this travel and trips category. We'll do that. That leaves us with $747, and that can go in random acts of kindness. Just fund that a bit more. All right, so that is everything for my second paycheck of June budgeted. If I go into July, I have $15 up here and ready to assign, and that just came from my interest on my savings account, on a high yield savings account. I don't really want to budget this now. I'll deal with it, when I get my first couple of paychecks in July. I'll just budget it out with my normal income. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but that's going to be it for the budget with me portion. Okay, so before we get to my net worth report, I thought we could just look at my income and spending report. I guess I'll just do it briefly for the whole year, but we're really going to focus on this month over here, June. It's been pretty steady income-wise. I've gotten $3,757 this month. My full-time job salary is pretty steady. When I don't have those 3 paycheck months, it's $3,471. Now next month, I should be getting my annual merit raise review, so we'll see what that works out to be. But for the past year, all of my paychecks net have been $1,735, and I got about $286 in interest and cash back. So just my normal, bills. I did pretty good in my dining out. I mean, I did $127 in dining out, which is actually quite a lot. However, I didn't spend anything else in my fund money, so it was all okay. And giving, so I had some extra donations, and then I spent about $70 for gifts. So this will be for Father's Day, and then also my nephew's first birthday is coming up this month. And then I give my dad $75 a month to help pay for some of his prescriptions, not subscriptions. Roth IRA $583. And then really the big spending item, which you can see here, is this Alaskan cruise for $3,359. This is the cruise fare for 2 people. I thought what I got was a pretty good deal. They were having like a sale, so it worked out to be $1,200 per person for a 7-night Alaskan cruise with a balcony. So it's a balcony suite. And this has always been something my mom has talked about, wanting to do an Alaskan cruise. I know it's like a bucket list item, and I've been thinking about how nice would it be if I could take her on an Alaskan cruise for her birthday or something. So like I said, it was about $1,200 per person, and then we got trip insurance, and then you had to pay for the port fees, and after all of that, it worked out to $3,300 for the tickets, and then this is before excursions or anything, so we still have to purchase some excursions, but plane tickets are booked because we have to fly into Seattle because that's where it's departing and returning from. But we got those. She had a bunch of like travel credits actually through her work, just from she would get like rewards for years of service and good work and stuff. So she had about like $1,800 in travel credits, and we used those to purchase the plane tickets. So plane tickets are covered for, and neither of us really had to pay for them. So we really just need to look at any upgrades we want, like drink packages and stuff on the cruise, and then the actual excursions. So that was the big spending for June 2024, and what I wanted to kind of show you all and talk to you about, just so you're aware. And that's why when we go back to my budget, we can see that there was so much money coming out of my travel and trips fund, because this is just a budget item for me, which is like where I budget the money. But then when I'm ready to spend it, I actually spend it from the travel and trips category in the individual like trip line item. I make a line item for each one of my trips, which I'm actually don't know if I want to do this going forward. I might revamp my budget later this year or for 2025 perhaps, because I don't think I like this anymore, but this is just how I have been doing it. So that's why, again, if we look in June, you can see $3,300 for that. And then I also went to, like I said, I really like volleyball, and they had part of the VNL this year was in Texas, so I actually flew to Texas to go watch volleyball. And so that's what this trip is, this VNL. Okay, so now that we've done my June budget, we can get into the net worth portion of this video. So on screen here, this is my net worth tracker that I created several years ago now. If you're interested in it, there is a link in the description box down below for more details and stuff. But this is just what I built to help track my net worth. And then I went ahead and highlighted June 2024 because obviously that is the month that we're going to look at, just because I know there's going to be a lot of numbers on here. And this way you can always kind of find what we're comparing to. But I do look at my net worth as of the last day of every month. So in this case, it would be June 30th. And I've had this for a while, and it's got my net worth all the way back to February of 2019, which is when I kind of first started my financial journey. We're going to mainly just focus down here from the end of December, which is technically like the beginning of my 2024 net worth, to the end of June. And then that will be, you know, a 6-month review. This first section is all of my assets, and then specifically my cash. So I have like two main non-invested assets, and it's my actual cash accounts. This would be my checking account, my high yield savings account. This is not actually cash. I think I have like $100 in cash max. Everything else is in, you know, a bank account. And then I also have some bonds with Treasury Direct. Between the two of them, you can see I had some growth in Treasury Direct, just, you know, some basic interest, $27.84. And then in my savings accounts and stuff, I actually lost about $1,500, and a lot of that is going to be because of my purchasing of the Alaskan cruise tickets and stuff. That was, you know, $3,300. So we're at just under $76,500 in my cash. So next section here, which my 401k starts, is my invested assets, and then specifically my retirement accounts first. So I have a 401k, and we are now at $121,000. The beginning of the year, I was just at $91,000, and I hit $100,000 in February, and then it kind of, you know, fluctuated. It actually went down a little bit in April from 105 to 102, but then the big thing in May, I think May was just a good month for the market in general, but then also in May, I had my profit sharing contribution from my company hit my 401k, so that was like an $8,600 that came into my 401k. And then June again was another good month where I put in $1,600. So this invest column, that's how much, like, you know, I put into the account that month, and we're at 121. Then my HSA, so I do have a portion of my HSA invested. So we're at just under $19,000. $280 went in this month, and the account actually grew by $573. So I put in $280, the account grew by $573. So there was about another $300-ish in just market growth. Then we'll come over here to my Roth IRA. This is just under $38,000, so $37,973. Again, I've been putting in $583.33 every single month since January. And so at the end of December, I will have fully funded my Roth IRA for the year. So far, we're just at that $3,500 mark, so right about halfway. And then this FICA this is an old retirement account. I really need to roll over, and I've been saying I really need to roll this over for like 2 or 3 years now.
It was a small account that I had when I worked at a local community college for a couple of months part-time doing writing tutoring, so students would bring in their papers and I would work through them and give them tips and stuff for
And then finally, we're now looking into my taxable accounts, and this will be at Vanguard Brokerage, and I have $18,156 in my taxable brokerage account. I didn't put anything to it this month, but I have been putting some money to it, the past couple of months, and it grew by $315. Okay, so all of that feeds into this total assets breakdown. So you can see my total assets, $280,765. And then I have it further broken down by cash, physical assets, which I don't have any. I don't own a home or anything, and I'm not counting my car as a physical asset at this time. So $84,000 in cash between my bonds and then my actual savings and checking accounts, and then $196.655 invested, which is crazy. I'm really close to $200,000 invested. You can see at the beginning of the year, I was at $152,000, and it just grew, some of it by my own investments. So far I invested $23,990, but then in total, my total assets have increased by $51,363. So the next section, obviously, of any net worth breakdown is your liabilities. So the only liability I currently have are my credit cards. I used to have student loans. If I look back up here, from February into 2020, you can see I started with $28,000 in student loans, but all of those were paid off in September of 2020. And so since then, it's just my monthly credit card balances. And for June 2024, I had $427.88 on my credit cards at the end of the month. So this isn't debt. I don't pay any interest on this or anything. I pay off my credit card statement balance in full every single month. My liabilities are pretty simple, thankfully. So then all of this feeds into this net worth summary section over here. So you can see for June, my total net worth is $280,337.95. Obviously, that's broken down by the $287.65 for my assets, and then the $427 in credit card. In total this month, I had $2,464 go into my investments, but my total monthly change was $4,883 from May, which was only about a 1.77% increase from May, but it was still good, I still like that. You can see May was a big month. Like I said, I think a lot of it was the market, and then I had about an extra $6,200 go to my 401k for my company's profit share. But at the beginning of the year, so January 1st, 2024, my net worth was just under $230,000, and then it just increased really fast. Like I said, I don't even really know what happened. So in total, so far year to date, my net worth has increased by $51,218, or 22.35%. Now, if we go up to June of 2023, my net worth at this point last year had increased by just under $50,000, so $48,387, or 35%. And then for the entire year, in 2023, my net worth increased by almost $100,000, $93,000. Last year in 2023, I hit the $150,000 net worth milestone, and then the $200,000 net worth milestone in 1 year. And I don't know, right now, again, the market could take a downturn. It could turn later on in this year. So it's really hard to say if, this trend will continue. But I mean, $280,000 in June, even if it averaged out to be $4,000 to $5,000 a month, I could hit $300,000 net worth here in 2024 if the market held, which that would be really cool. But yeah, that is very quickly my net worth growth for this year. Now you can see in this column EV that my cumulative change from when I first started tracking my net worth in February of 2019 has passed over $300,000. My net worth has increased by $308,000, or 1,094% increase. So again, if we just scroll all the way up to February of 2019, my net worth was negative $28,000. So it has already increased over $300,000 because I was, about 30K in the hole. I don't know, like these numbers are getting so big now that they don't feel real. And a lot of this has happened kind of silently for me. Like a lot of these I was hitting, and then I wasn't even really realizing it until the next month or 2 months later. It's been because I haven't been spending as much time looking at my numbers every single day like I was doing really into my journey. And that's why I was like so on top of posting videos and creating videos for this channel, is because I was so obsessed with the numbers, which was kind of, helpful. Obviously it worked and I enjoyed that for the time. But then the past, year and a half, I just like felt myself being like, okay, I don't need to think about this all the time, which has been really nice. But that's also why I'm not making and posting as many videos, just because it's not the number one thing on my mind anymore. But yeah, I thought this would be cool to kind of see the growth for the year and really overall. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. It was a long one. We budgeted my June paycheck, we reviewed my June spending, and then we reviewed my net worth updates for 2024. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy as always, and that you have a good day.